Hey, what's going on, guys? Crass Businessman here. Today we're going to be talking about time management and really more realistically, priority management. So we have two quotes of the day again today. The first one is, "Success usually comes to those who are too busy to be looking for it." And that's by Henry David Thoreau. And the second is, "Opportunities don't happen, you create them," by a gentleman named Chris Grosser. So have you ever said the phrase, "Man, I don't have any time for blank," or "I would blank, but I don't have any time"? Well, there was a university professor who gave a phenomenal demonstration on how time actually works. And he had one large glass container and three other smaller ones. And the first was filled with large rocks, the second with pebbles, and the third with sand. And he said, try to fit all these into one container. Right? And he illustrated that if you put the sand in first, there's no way to fit the rocks and the pebbles. If you put the pebbles in first, there's no way to fit the rocks and all of the sand. And the rocks represent your top priorities. The pebbles represent secondary priorities, and the sand represents all the menial tasks that we all have to do. Now, what was interesting about this is that it opened my eyes and helped me realize a few things about time and about priorities. Well, it helped me realize that, number one, time is the same for everyone. Nobody gets extra, nobody gets less. It's an even playing field. So there's really no shortage of time. Number two is proper prioritization does more for you than the idea of gaining more hours or gaining a few hours here and there. I used to try to maximize my time as much as possible. The idea of spending a third of my life sleeping bothered me. That's way too much time that could be spent better, right? Well, not so much. 50 years of sleep science say that you should get this to be at your maximum level. And a friend of mine talked sense into me and said something I'll never forget. They said to me, make the most of the time you have and it'll never be wasted. Make your tasks the most efficient and there will be plenty of time to do it all. So keep this in mind. If you waste your time on shit that doesn't matter, it's going to add up. You got 5 minutes of checking your Snapchat here, 10 hours of binge watching Netflix here, responding to texts from people who don't give a shit all day. And we often forget just how much time we waste on these activities until you actually sit down and calculate it. It's a lot. A fuck ton. Or a metric fuck ton to be in a measurable standard. So the challenge for today is a new part of the channel now. The challenge for today is to audit yourself for one full day. Make an account of every half hour. Annotate what you were doing. For the majority of you, basically all of you, it was including me as well, and it does from time to time as well, still include me, you'll find that you usually waste half the day on shit. But that's usually a good thing, because you're becoming self-aware, you'll finally be able to change it. But find out what you're spending the majority of your time on. And if it's aligned with your priorities, you're good. If not, probably some changes need to be made. So that's it for today, guys. Tomorrow's video is going to cover some habits. It ties kind of into today's video, some keystone habits that you can do that will help you significantly. Please like, comment, subscribe. Once again, I'm Crass Businessman. Stay productive.